And we live. Yo, yo, yo. This is your boy Bronze, and this is the Niners All Day Show. I got the man, Fran 49er. Dre,
Yo,
what up, Dre?
What's going on, man? Good to see you back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's been a minute.
Yes, yeah, man. You've been working, daddy duty. Wasn't feeling too good for a couple of days, man. Happy to have you back.
Yeah, man.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Of course, we got a special guest, Cohn. Before we get to that, man, we are really trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers, right? We're at about like 655 right now. So to everybody out there watching, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I don't give a damn even if you hit the thumbs down, right? Hit the thumbs down if you don't like the content, right? But at least subscribe so you can get some good content that you will like eventually in the future, right? You can't hate everything, right? You gotta like some stuff, you gotta dislike some stuff. You know what I mean? You can't hate everything, man. So go ahead and press that subscribe button, man. We really want to do these giveaways. Bronze is already he's hooked up to Patreon. So towards the end of the episode, we'll be talking about that to the people who want to donate to the channel. And without further ado, man, we're gonna bring our guy Grant Cohn up in this thing, man.
Oh, boom. Mr. Grant Cohn.
Hold on.
Wait, okay. There we go. Okay.
I
got him.
They tried to shut me down.
Iggs, what's up, bro?
What's up, Trey?
What's happening, bro? Hey, I'm finally realizing that when you're cool, when you partners with Grant Cohn, it come with a beef, bro. I've been getting in some beef lately.
True, man.
Hey, I don't know why they be disrespecting my partner like that, man. I'll be happy to, you know what I'm saying, come for him, bro. Like,
you don't have to have my back, man. I'm cool. You can say whatever you want to say. We're still friends. It's all good.
Yeah. Nah, man. I'll be happy to, make him come correct a little bit, bro.
Grant can handle his own.
Am I?
Yeah. Once again, bro, we definitely happy to have you on. It's been a lot of stuff that's happened over this week, like a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about that stuff. You have been in the media cycle like crazy. Your content has been like jumping off the roof, bro. Like Grant is the talk of the 49er town right now. And that's one of the reasons why I had to have bro on. One of the first things that we want to talk about is the roster moves. There was a lot of roster moves that happened this week. And let's just go through a list. I don't feel like any of these guys would have made like a huge impact. I think some of these guys will be some good practice squad guys. The practice squad was they added on to the practice squad. So let's go through these guys, man. The first two guys were Willie Henry and Chris Fink. Both of them were waived due to non-football injuries. I know NFL franchises do not like non-football injuries. They would rather you be training and get an injury, and that's not pretty good. But there was a report that said that Chris Fink is possibly going to be on the practice squad, so I was happy to hear that. Looks like he could be a pretty good slot receiver.
They gave him guaranteed money, I think about $90,000. So I think if someone else doesn't sign him, they would.
Yeah, most definitely. They gave him $90,000, bro. So and then these are the next guys that were waived, and that's Joey Affetti. Then we have Jermaine Kelly. We have Derek Kendrick. We have Ray Smith, Brock Wetter. And then this is the Pup List. We have Ronald Blair, Sean Poindexter, Weston Richburg, of course, Kentavious Street, can't stay healthy, Julian Taylor. And then, this is the list that I really want to talk about, and this is the NFI list. It says we have DJ Reed and Deebo Samuel. And the thing that's important to remember about the NFI list is if you're on this list when the season starts, you have to be out for 6 weeks.
That's right. At least 6. It could be more. Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about that, bro. Do you see them removing Deebo Samuel from this NFI list? And do you have any information as to why they put him on that list and not the Pup List?
That's a good question. I think the Pup List is technically if you suffered the injury during a football game.
Okay.
I think the NFI is if you did it in Nashville training with your buddies. Right. So technically, it's just a technicality, but it's the same thing. And so they put him on it to start training camp because he's not ready, but they can take him off whenever during training camp. Okay. And I mean, if they want him to play week 4 or week 5, then I think they would put him on the 53-man roster and have him inactive for the first few games. If he's on NFI, that means it's a serious injury. So I don't even think they know yet. They'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because I was kind of worried when I seen that. Like, man, they're putting him on the NFI list. I understand with DJ Reed because he literally just tore his pectoral probably about 2 months ago. So he's not Quan Alexander, right? So that's at least 6 to 8 months. So I could totally understand why he would be on that list. But I was worried. I was like, man, he's on the NFI list, automatic 6 weeks. Like, is there something else going on? But I guess
Peter King did say he's out. He's probably out until October. So NFI, that would be he'd come back mid-October. I still don't think he's going to start the season on NFI, but it makes you wonder.
Yeah, it really does. All right, man. Let's go ahead.
No, but it's interesting. All those people you listed that got cut seemed like they were veterans, like camp bodies. The only undrafted rookie who got cut was Fink, who got paid the most, like the biggest guarantee. So I think when the NFLPA pushed to lower roster sizes to 80, they were hoping that like the undrafted free agents would get cut. But those aren't the people. Those people are valuable because they're cheap. It's the ones that go are the veteran camp bodies, Willie Henry, Kongbo, all those guys. Sorry, see you.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Let's talk about this top 100. We're gonna go through in order, and the first guy that was on the top 100 was at 70. I thought he should have been a little bit higher because you had guys like Jadeveon Clowney who was at number 41 or 43, one of those. And this was Fred Warner. I was happy to see him get on the top 100 at number 70. If you look at the ratings, I think he was like the 5th ranked linebacker in the NFL, which is like a really good mark for him. How do you feel about that, bro? Yeah. Like, how do you guys feel about him being ranked number 70? Do you think it was too high, or do you think it was a perfect spot for him?
I think it's a perfect spot. He's only been in the league 2 years. He's ascending. If he continues to improve the way he has been, he'll be much higher in this list next year and the year after that. I think for a second-year player, it's fair. And I think everyone pretty much agrees that his arrow is pointed up, and we expect him to be ranked higher next year. What do you think, bro?
Most definitely. Bronze, how you feel about Fred Warner being number 70, bro?
I kind of expected him to be higher. I wanted maybe 60 or 50.
Right.
The Homer side of me says 50, but what Grant says, yeah, that makes sense. Second year, he's on that trajectory.
Right. Yeah. And, I was just happy to see him make the list, to be honest. Like, I could agree that there were some guys who were ranked above them that I looked at and I was like, I don't know, especially the Jadeveon Clowney. Like, I don't know how he made it into the 40s. Like, that was just a little bit overkill, but
hype.
Some of this stuff is a popularity contest too. Like,
hype.
Right. Yeah, hype. Right. And if you're cool with a lot of guys and they see you and they see their homeboy, like 9 times out of 10, they're going to vote for their homeboy. And it just goes like that. Okay, so we're going to move on to Jimmy Garoppolo. I was highly surprised, bro. I felt like Jimmy was a top 100 player, but to know that he was in the top 50 at number 43, I was really happy to see that because it's not just the sports writers. Like, the sports writers and all of the GMs were like basically bashing him. And then it came to his peers. There's 2,000 guys in the NFL, so that means 1,999 other guys said, no, this dude is a stud, and he was ranked at 40. How do you feel about that?
I think it's too high. I mean, he's ranked ahead of Fred Warner and DeForest Buckner. He's ranked ahead of Fred Warner and DeForest Buckner. Nothing against Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think I would rank Warner and Buckner as better players than Garoppolo. I think Garoppolo is a really good player. Matt Stafford wasn't even in the top 100. I mean, I understand why he got the ranking he did. He's coming off a really good season, not just statistically, but from a win-loss standpoint. And I think a lot of people see him as like the up-and-coming guy. So it's a lot of it is a projection where he's going, since he's only started 26 games or something. So I don't have a problem with it. I just think, like, I wouldn't have expected football players to actually rank Jimmy over Buckner. And I'm wondering if that's going to hold true next year, because that's pretty bold. Buckner's an all-pro player. And Jimmy's never even been to the Pro Bowl, even though he's done really good things. So I think it's controversial, but I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so who had more of an impact on the team last year, and who had a better year compared to Buckner and Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, it's hard to say anyone has a bigger impact on the team than the quarterback. But that doesn't mean that all quarterbacks are better than defensive tackles. I mean, I think I would say Buckner's like the second best defensive tackle in the league, and Jimmy's like right around top 10 with the quarterbacks.
I would say that we would have still been 13-3 without Buckner, and without Jimmy Garoppolo, we would have been a 6-10 team.
I totally disagree. I think if you would put a lot of quarterbacks on that team doing what Jimmy was doing last year. Remember, the Niners led the league in yards after the catch. So you put Derek Carr on that team, even Nick Mullins, a lot of quarterbacks I think could have done. But anyway, I don't want to turn this into me crapping on Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm just saying 43, wow. Like, he hasn't even started 2 full seasons, but good for him. He may prove everyone right. It's very much a projection, I feel. So good for him. I'm not quarreling with it. That's good. Buckner's just been in the league longer. I mean, Warner hasn't, but Buckner's been in the league like 4 or 5 years.
Bro, you are the most cynical. That's why I love it.
It's not cynical to say that DeForest Buckner is a better player than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's not cynical.
Yeah.
At his position, I mean, I could totally
at his position.
Yeah, at his position. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to number 17. Of course, we all know who that is going to be, and that no,
yes.
my bad. I can't go to number 17. I have to go to number 28.
Okay.
That's Richard Sherman.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Richard Sherman.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. There
Brian,
you go.
how do you feel about Sherman being ranked at number 28, bro, by his peers?
I think it's right. I think that's in the 20s, maybe a little higher 20s, but hey, he's in there. You got mad respect for the team, from the football community, the players. So yeah, I like it. I like number 28.
I already know how you feel, Grant. I seen you.
It's way too high. I mean, Fred Warner is a better player right now than Jimmy Garoppolo, than Richard Sherman. I'm sorry. Richard Sherman had a terrific year, but Fred Warner is better than him right now, I think. So look, all these guys deserve merit in the top 100. Sherman's a top 100 player. Warner's a top 100 player. I just think that the ordering of the Niners is a little interesting. I mean, I would definitely put Warner ahead of Sherman. Warner's going up. Sherman's coming down. But Sherman did have a really good season last year, so I don't want to knock him.
I can definitely agree with that. Man, when you're 32 years old and you're playing at that level at cornerback, like it's amazing, right?
No question. But again, he's got a bigger name. I think how many football players really know Fred Warner that well? They're getting to know him, but everyone knows Richard Sherman.
True. That's true. The only reason I give Sherm a little bit extra credit is because when you're 32 and you're still playing at that high level, when you're allowing less than 50% of passes, pass receptions when you're targeted, when you got five interceptions in one season, 2 in the playoffs, you got to pick 6. I mean, it's pretty damn hard to do.
His numbers are always top notch. I'm with you.
Always top notch. Yeah. And I would just have to see him in the top 100, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Like
PFF.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. PFF rated him number 1.
Wow.
I mean, his PFF's not gospel, but there's some context.
Right.
I'm just impressed that he came back from this Achilles injury. I thought that was it for him.
Right.
So good for him.
Yeah, towards Achilles at 30, and 2 years after that, he's back.
Great story.
Still on the island.
Yeah, it was. All right, so number 17, and Brian Baldy said that this guy should have been in the top 10, and I was kind of feeling like that, bro. I was feeling that, bro. Nick Bosa, rated above his own big brother that you said he was better than. Yeah,
How?
I see that, bro.
How?
Hey,
okay,
bro,
keep going. I don't want to talk. Bronze, you go first.
Hey, yeah. I love Nick Bosa, and I was kind of surprised that he was that high. But shit, hell yeah, let's go.
I'm not surprised at all. They love the Bosas in the NFL. Those guys are royalty. They're Mannings. They're like Mannings. And look, all I gotta say is Nick Bosa may end up being a Hall of Fame player. He may. I don't know. He was terrific last year. The guy had 9.5 sacks. He had single-digit sacks. Can we just? We're so as a society eager to be there to anoint people. Like wait 6 months.
Bro, they actually didn't. He actually had 10.5, and they didn't count one for him. They counted for another player. But you got to look at it.
And then he had a bunch in the playoffs too. He was great. But I just feel man, we're jumping. He is better than Richard Sherman. He is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I personally would put Buckner right there with him. He's better than Warner. So, yeah, I mean, he should be a top 25 player. I guess he really should be top 30. But 17 after 1 year and 9.5 sacks? Okay, bro. I guess I'm not really quibbling too much. I'd knock him down maybe 10 spots. But 17 seems like some serious respect for a rookie. Was he the highest rated rookie in the league?
Yeah, he was. Highest rated rookie. Yes.
Okay.
He was.
Okay. Well, he was the rookie of the year.
I think he was. I think they came out with a stat saying that he was the highest rated defensive rookie defensive lineman of all time.
See, that seems a little bit much. Is he really the greatest? I don't know. He's got a lot of hype, that dude. For a lot of reasons.
Okay. Do we know who's the top 3 defensive ends last year? Who are the top 3? Is he in the top 3?
Is probably
who were some DNs that he'd be out this year? Did he rank higher than Shaq Barrett? Did he rank higher than guys who had double his sacks? I mean, wow. Okay. All right. Okay.
I just think about the impact that he has on the game, man. Like we've seen plenty of still frames where it's literally 3 and 4 linemen around him. You know what I'm saying? And when they were doing the interview, see, I'm trying to find this tweet so I don't misquote it because, okay, they were interviewing somebody, and I can't remember this guy's name, but they were interviewing him, and he used to be teammates with Joey Bosa, and he said, Joey, he was talking to Joey Bosa, and he was like, man, I have a little brother that's probably better than me.
Wait, look, if I had a little brother, I'd say that too. You always pump up your little brother, man.
But why would you lie though? Like,
I'm just saying, I think Joey has accomplished more in the NFL than Nick, just because Joey's been in the league longer. And I think that in life, accomplishments still matter. It's not about what people think you can do. It's about what you kind of have done. And Nick hasn't had enough time. So I think he could end up as maybe a top 5 player in the league. But right now, to put him top 20 after 1 year and 9.5 sacks seems a little rich, but I'm really not quibbling because I don't think I'd put him any lower than 30. So he's a hell of a player. He deserves it. Good for Nick Bosa.
Baldy said he's putting his money on him being the defensive MVP of the year.
He's right. But I also remember, who was it that said Colin Kaepernick was going to be the greatest quarterback of all time? Sometimes you might want to just wait and let these young men do what they do. You know what I mean? You don't have to predict these things. They can actually manifest themselves in front of your eyes. It's fun to watch. That's sports.
Most definitely. Yeah, man, I was just so happy to see that, bro. Like, I was really caught off guard by him being that high. Like, I knew he was going to be one of the guys, right? But I did not know he was going to be top 20. I was amazed at that. And seeing the praise that he got for being as young as he is, like, he's going to get so much better, bro. He's going to be so much better.
One of the faces of the league.
Yes, he is. And when they interviewed him a few weeks back, he said one of the main things he was working on was finishing plays. There were so many plays where he was like this close to having a sack, and either the quarterback wiggled out of it or maybe fell and he got a hold.
Especially early in the season, Jameis Winston.
God.
I mean, there
were so many, bro, where he could have easily had 15, 16 sacks in the regular season. So I was just happy to see that. Shout out to
if he has 16 sacks next season, I will not be surprised. But let him do it.
I won't either, bro.
Let him do it.
Yeah. So let's move on. We already know who this guy is. Top 10, number 7. I thought he should have been top 5. There's no way.
Yes.
You know, like they had like I think 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the top 5. It's like, come on, man, show GK some love. I think he should have been top 5. We're talking about our guy George Kittle, and they were talking about over the past 2 seasons, he's had 1,500 yards after the catch. It's the most of any tight end in NFL history. That's amazing.
Yeah.
1,500 yards after the catch. They're starting tight ends in the NFL right now who don't have 1,500 yards combined over the past 2 years receiving the ball. It just shows how good he is, bro. Like, they were showing some of the highlights, some of the guys who were talking about him, and just watching it, like, you kind of get mesmerized and be like, George Kittle is really good. Yes, he's in the right system. Yes, I feel like Kyle Shanahan played a huge role in helping George Kittle become who he is right now. Yes, I do believe that, right? But he is really talented. You don't find any talents like that anymore, bro.
He's one of the few guys in the NFL that makes it look like he's playing JV. Like, he's varsity and everyone else is JV. Like, especially against the Saints, that final play, that's to me is the signature George Kittle moment of his career. Yes. Game was on the line, 4th and 1. I mean, Jimmy throws like a pass like at the line of scrimmage or right past it. And Kittle like drags 4 DBs down the field.
Oh my God.
What an image. Those are professional football players, and not 1, not 2, not 3 could tackle him. That's what I think of with Kittle. And with Kittle, I don't know who they ranked ahead of him, but to me, he's one of the few players in the league that has 0 weaknesses, like none. You could put him at wide receiver and he'd be pretty good. Like, line him up straight at wide receiver. He could do it. You could put him at right tackle. I mean, he could probably hold his own. He's a freak. So I don't know who they put ahead of him. I haven't looked that closely at the list, but I don't see how he's not top 5.
Right. Yeah. It was Lamar Jackson. I know that for sure. It was Patrick Mahomes. It was Drew Brees. Russell Wilson. So those are 4 quarterbacks already above him in the top 10. Like,
was it Aaron Donald above him? Like, who's the best?
Aaron Donald was above him.
So he's the second best non-quarterback in the league.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I can't disagree with that. Aaron Donald's pretty good too, man.
Yeah, pretty damn good. And what I liked is the first guy that they had came on that they interviewed about him. As soon as they said something about 40, it was Everson Griffin, right? Everson Griffin's one of the
he would know.
Yeah, he's one of the edge defenders in the NFL right now. And if it wasn't for the money restraints, like Everson Griffin would be on the team right now. I think Everson Griffin's top 10, right? And as soon as they said something about the 49ers, he was like, I already know who you're talking about. I already know.
Go run the tape from the divisional round. That guy was moving Everson Griffin out of off the field.
Bro, they showed the highlight. Yeah. It was a blocking clinic. Like if I had a son and he was playing tight end, just watch George Kittle, right?
Yes.
This one, I would argue that he's a better blocker than Rob Gronkowski. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me.
They're different, but I agree. Rob Gronkowski was about 25 pounds bigger. So he could move people in front of him, maybe a little bit better than Kittle, although Kittle's so strong. But Kittle can do things in space that Gronkowski can't. Kittle, you can have him lead blocking like way down the field in ways that Gronkowski may not be able to get out there. Kittle's so unique. And the other thing about him is every time the Niners run the ball, or almost every time, they run behind him, and you know that he's going to be the lead blocker. He leads you to the ball carrier, and they still can't stop it. That's ridiculous.
Still can't stop it. Yeah, Bronze, bro. How do you feel about Kittle being top 7? And do you think he deserved to be top 5, bro?
Yes. I was disappointed that he didn't make it to the top 5.
Okay. What's that?
Straight up. He's the number 1 rated PFF player
in NFL history.
Yeah, that goes yes.
Right.
What's his weakness?
People
say he doesn't score enough touchdowns, but that's more a function of the offense and the play caller. Like if Kyle Shanahan wants to call Kendrick Bourne's number inside the 10, what is Kittle going to do? Complain?
But we have to look at this too, bro. How many touchdowns did he have called back for
Great point.
He had
like 5, right? There was one against Carolina because someone had an illegal.
He had 2 in one game.
Tampa.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of touchdowns called back against Tampa. 3, I think.
Yeah, there was a lot of touchdowns that he had called back. So I think that
people forget that. That's a great point.
Yeah. And the reason why I said Rob Gronkowski, that he blocks better than Rob Gronkowski, because it's going to segue into this next topic. Me and Bronze, we kind of talked about, I think we all talked about it before we started the show. And Skip Bayless, after seeing that George Kittle was the highest rated tight end in NFL history in the top 100, he was voted in by his peers. He said, congratulations to George Kittle, but he will never be as good as Rob Gronkowski.
Congratulations, but what a classy thing to do. Thanks, Skip. Congratulations, but you're a bum. Good going.
Right. Yeah.
What?
I know he does not believe, like 90% of the stuff he says, he does not believe. Like, I don't know how he goes to sleep at night.
I know.
I think maybe getting the $10 million a year from Fox is doing it.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
I mean,
no, but what he said honestly wasn't that controversial. I mean, Gronkowski's the greatest tight end of all time. And Kittle's going for that. For him to say he's never going to be as Gronkowski, how can you say that? I mean, if anyone could compete with Gronkowski's career, Kittle's off to that start. They're different, as I mentioned. I think Gronkowski's like a heavyweight tight end, and Kittle's more of like a middleweight tight end. But that doesn't make him worse. They're just different. Like one's a little bit faster, one's a little bit bigger. It seems like a statement that's nonsense, and he just did it for attention. But if you were going to say that Kittle's never going to be as good as Vernon Davis or Brent Jones, now you have a controversial statement. But to say he's not going to be as good as the greatest tight end of all time, like, okay.
I think that Rob Gronkowski had an advantage by using his size over a lot of guys. But as far as like being a great tight end, being a skilled tight end, being able to do everything, like I have 2 tight ends, including George Kittle, that I think that are better than Rob Gronkowski, and that I enjoyed watching more than Rob Gronkowski. That's
true. I mean, Gronkowski couldn't run after the catch like Kittle, and that's one of the most fun things to watch is just him rumble through tacklers.
Yeah.
I mean, who blocks better?
I would say that they have different strengths as blockers. Like you could put Gronkowski on a 280-pound base D end, and Gronkowski could move that guy. I mean, Kittle is blocking more like safeties because he's so fast. You have to put safeties on him, and he just destroys safeties. So I think they're both equally good in their matchups, but they're just a little different.
But when you look at what Kittle did to the Preston brothers and what he did to Everson Griffin and those guys,
that was crazy. I didn't think he could do that. That's Gronkowski stuff right there.
And that was the game that I was nervous about because I was like, they match up really well with us. Their defense is top 5. I don't know how that's going to work out, right?
Now remember that defense was tired. They had just played in New Orleans. They had to fly out the next week across country. That was a tired team. I don't know if they could have done that week 1 in Minnesota. It might have looked a little different. But still, he did it. Good for him. He did it.
And I feel like this. The other 2 guys that I feel that are better than Gronkowski is Anthony Gonzalez and Uncle Shay Sharp. Shay Sharp is better than Gronkowski. Like Shannon Sharp was a wide receiver.
Not as a blocker. But yeah, maybe as a receiver.
As a pure tight end, he ain't fucking with Shannon Sharp. Oh, damn it.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I can cut it out. I'm telling you, though, Gronkowski, the reason he has the respect that Kittle has is because of the blocking.
Right.
Gronkowski's a serious blocker, man.
Yeah.
When he was healthy, younger.
Right.
I don't know what he's like anymore. He looks a lot skinnier now. Have you guys seen him recently? Looks a lot skinnier now.
It really looks like he aged a lot, bro. Like this game is a lot to him, bro.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that's going to look like.
I'm kind of worried about Gronkowski. Like, he really shouldn't be playing no more, bro. Like, he was talking about, he did an interview after he had retired. It was like 6 months after he retired. And he was talking about his brain fluid. And his brain fluid is so low that he has soft spots in his head like a baby.
Oh, no.
Oh, shoot.
Gronk is not, bro. I really think that this is a bad idea for him, but we'll see what happens. He has some other good tight ends over there that could help him, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I don't think we should do that, bro.
I'm getting tired of, with the Twitter sphere,
Trent Taylor that you showing.
Yes.
Can't believe
he needs to be quiet. I don't know. I know he got his back, he got his big brother's back, but
you're on the hot seat. You really haven't played in 2 years, and this is what you do right before camp.
I would not have done that if I were Trent. I would not. I'm like, dude, Short, I love you. Good luck. You're on your own, buddy.
Bro.
Yes.
We literally just drafted 2 receivers in this draft, and they're
slot receivers.
Yeah, and there is a veteran who runs a 4-3 who knows this system that we just signed for chump change named Kelvin Benjamin, who Kyle Shanahan freaking loves, who had almost 1,000-yard receiving year when he was with the Browns, and you gonna run your mouth like that? Like, I think Trent Taylor's off this team. I don't think Trent Taylor.
I don't know why.
Go that
because
part,
Jimmy
I
loves
understand.
Jimmy loves it. Jimmy loves it. But if he gets hurt again, they may just be done with him.
Hey, Grant, bro, you know how Kyle Shanahan is. He will prove a point on purpose, right? So I can't say who I heard this from, but this is what I heard about Raheem Mostert contract, right? Okay. I heard that basically his incentives are based on his carries and the amount of yards he gets. And what they want him to do is they want him to either match what he did last year or get more. So over 220 carries and over 1,100 yards. And that and the carries are worth $500,000, and the yardage is worth $500,000. How much do you want to bet that as soon as he gets close to that number, Kyle Shanahan gonna slow up them carries, bro?
Well, that's what he did last year. I mean, I think that's what coaches do. That's what coaches do.
Hey, and the same thing can happen with Trent Taylor. They can go into camp and he could be like, "Damn, I'm not getting as many targets." Yeah, because you ran your mouth, Trent. Like, that's not
the only thing in Trent Taylor's working in his favor is that the $27 million quarterback really likes him, and that is worth something. It is. So if Jimmy ends up being like, you know what, Trent's not what he was 2 years ago. I'm kind of over him. He's washed. Then he's in trouble. But what's working in his favor is that last year in camp, he really was fantastic before he got hurt. And so I think he's going to get another chance. Although I just don't. If I were his agent, I would have called Trent Taylor and be like, "What? Delete that tweet. What are you doing? Yeah. How does this help you? I understand you're trying to help George Kittle. That's noble. And you come across as looking like a good teammate and a good friend, but you're hurting yourself. Stop.
Right.
Please.
And it's not like you're the franchise quarterback, bro. Like, you're a second-tier wide receiver who can't stay healthy.
On a contract year.
Who was drafted in the 5th round. Like,
that's right.
Oh, my guy. Like,
this could be the last year of your career. So be focused on you, not
Grant, are you guys able to watch the training camp?
Theoretically, they're going to start practicing in about 10 days, and I'm going to be down there. But I think the NFL is figuring it all out as we go. Let's see how many practices they actually have in a row before something bad happens. Because, I mean, it's working with the NHL, which is a good thing. It seems like it's a contact sport. How is this? I don't know. If one guy comes into practice undetected, COVID-19 positive, the whole team's going to have it, right? It's a contact sport. I know. I don't want to go down that road. And I hope they'll figure it out. So they got 10 days.
Please, bro. Like, it's power of death, of life and death in the tongue. It says it in scripture. We cannot speak that into existence.
You're right. Please. I take it back. It's not going to happen. You're right.
Please.
And it's not for our entertainment. It's for their health, because we don't need them
Right.
It's for their health. I can entertain myself. I can read a book.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was our little ramble. Talking about Skip Bayless and the ridiculous stuff that he says. And we came to an understanding like Rob Gronkowski is great, top 5 of all time, right? But can we say that George Kittle will never be as good as him? Like he's already reached a higher plateau than Rob Gronkowski. He just hasn't won the Super Bowl to go with it. That's it. He's done everything that Rob has done. So we'll see what happens this coming up.
Maybe if he gotten more than 3 catches in the Super Bowl, they would have won. What was that? Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Talk about
not
that.
Going there. That's old news.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible. So we're going into a new section and it's called Grant Says, right? Actually, Grant Tweets, right?
Okay.
So we're gonna go into some of Grant's tweets, that as a friend I have to say I have a problem with, right?
Okay.
I didn't like some of them, Grant. Okay.
I can't be held responsible for everything I tweet, man.
All right, bro. So the first tweet was you said that Dwelly is better than Jordan Reed and Delaney Walker.
In the sense that Jordan Reed needs to prove he can play without getting another concussion. Delaney Walker needs to prove he can play without hurting his ankle. I mean, those two in their prime were we're Pro Bowl players. And Dwelly has 10 career catches. So it's not really, I'm not comparing his career to theirs. They're like, to me, right on the brink of retirement because of injuries. So they just have a little bit more to prove. I mean, Dwelly has a lot to prove, but at least Dwelly's young and doesn't have those type of issues. Right.
So, all right, because you guys have to realize Grant has had access to seeing Dwelly in training camp, and it's something that we haven't all had, right?
Yes.
And can you explain?
That's 95% of my opinion. Yes.
Right. And Grant, I just want you to explain to people really how good is Dwelly at running routes and how unguardable he is if you just let him loose.
Yeah. So he's not fast. He's like a 4'9" guy, and he's not particularly great after the catch. And you'd think, how's he going to get open? But at the University of San Diego, he was the number 1 option in that offense forever. And so he must do something well, right? And I'm watching him in one-on-ones. Some people just have a little bit of finesse to their route running. They have the ability to cut outside their frame, to give a hard head fake, a jab step, just things that get defenders off balance. And he's got all those little tricks, and you see it in the one-on-one drills. If you've ever been in a football practice, they have one-on-one drills between cornerbacks and wide receivers, and tight ends and safeties, running backs and linebackers. And 82, I don't even know who he was. I'm like, who is 82? Marcel Harris can't cover him. Jaquaski Tart can't cover him. He just always wins in one-on-ones. And granted, those drills are set up for the offensive player to win because he can string together 3-4 moves if he wants to. But still, he's beating starting DBs in the NFL, and it's a guy that no one thought was going to make the team. And then you watch Caden Smith, number 89, who he can't get open to save his life. There's no finesse, no wiggle. Good blocker. Maybe you could scheme him open, but to have a tight end who can beat NFL man-to-man coverage, that's valuable.
Right. Most definitely.
That's valuable.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that the potential that you see in what Dwelly could be is better than what you could get out of Jordan Reed and Delaney Walker right now as we speak.
No, I would say that Jordan Reed has the potential to come in and catch 60 balls next year. And Jordan Reed's really good, and he's 30. But if he gets one more concussion, he might retire. He didn't play last year. Right. So Dwelly's just you don't have to have those worries with him. And with another thing about Dwelly, he has arguably the best hands on the team. Hand-eye coordination. He does not drop passes. He's very short-handed. Remember, he made that diving catch in the rain in Washington on 4th and 1. It was crazy.
And there was another one where he caught the ball, bro, and he got his head took off, and he got up and spiked the ball. He looked like George Kittle almost.
So to me, Kyle can actually integrate him inside the 10-yard line the way he's used Bourne. He's very similar to Bourne, although Bourne actually drops more passes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Kendrick dropped 3, but I mean, if you don't drop none compared to 3, then you've dropped more passes. All right. So the next Grant tweet is Tico is going to get cut, right?
That didn't age well. That did not age well.
Less than 24 hours later, they come out with a report that Fred is he's going.
Jeff Wilson Jr.
I mean, Jeff Wilson Jr. is going on the COVID list, and instantly I tweeted and text Grant, and I was like, "Yeah, bro, this didn't age too well."
No. Well, I didn't know Jeff Wilson Jr. was going to get COVID, and I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But Tevin Coleman's going to make – hold on.
Bro,
Let me tell you why I said Tevin Coleman's not going to make the team.
Why does everybody hate Tevin Coleman so much, bro?
Let me tell you. I'm not theorizing. Someone in the league told me don't be so sure he's going to make the team. So that's where I'm coming from. I think what happened was Mostert went to the Niners. They had that sit down. And Mostert, what his whole thing was like, how can you possibly pay me less than Tevin Coleman? It's not right. It's just not right. You got to pay me more than him. And I think what they might have told him, I don't know. They might have told him is, dude, don't be so sure that Tevin's even going to be on the team. You might be the highest paid running back on the team next year, making what you're making now. So if that's your argument, it may not hold water. We're going to give you some more incentives. But if you want to make 4.8 just to be a little bit ahead of Coleman, you might be ahead of Coleman anyway because he might be gone. So the Niners question is, and we're going to get to this, if they need to free up some cap space, Coleman's making $5 million to average 4 yards a carry. It's a lot. If they like Savon Ahmed in training camp, they might change things. They like JaMychal Hasty, McKinnon. All of a sudden, it's now you're free to save to clear up some cap space.
A lot of money, right?
So he's not definitely getting cut, but he needs to prove that he's worth $5 million, and he may.
All right. And this is the last tweet. Or these are the last two tweets, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like they really bothered me. All right, so.
Well, thanks for still being my friend and not unfollowing me. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to explain myself, but maybe I was just way wrong. I might have been wrong.
So this was right after John Lynch signed his deal, and bro had a positive tweet, and he said, good for John Lynch and the 49ers. They're getting everything right these days. Yeah. Less than 48 hours later, Grant tweets, the more Lynch talks, the more things get worse. And I just dropped my pants.
With Kittle. You flip-flopping. Okay, all right. Well, let me try to explain myself because that sounds bad.
One right here?
It sounds bad. Look, I was encouraged that they gave Lynch the extension because we've been talking about it all offseason. You know I think he deserved it. So I thought they did the right thing there. And then as far as the Kittle negotiation goes, that's a different issue. And all I noticed is the last two times Lynch has spoken on KNBR, he's talked about the Kittle thing. And both times he's been very optimistic. Like, we're not there yet, but it's going to happen. Don't worry. Kittle's going to be on the Niners long-term. Stop worrying. Right. And both times after that, Kittle's agent has gone to whichever NFL Network reporter will answer his call first and be like, let me tell you how wrong John Lynch is and how far apart we really are. He's done that twice. Becta first went to Silver and said it on the record. Then a couple of days ago, it was Rappaport and Silver basically talking Becta's point off the record.
Right.
So all I'm saying is, what is Lynch really supposed to say? He needs to go on the radio and be optimistic. But every time he does that, Becta goes to NFL Network and says he's wrong. So is he like throwing gas on the fire? Does he upset Kittle and his agent every time he expresses this optimism, or is it just all part of the dance? I don't know. And really, ultimately, I don't think Lynch is the roadblock. If there is a roadblock, if there's someone in the organization being like, man, he's not worth what he wants, let's just give him 12. It's Kyle.
Right.
It's not Lynch. Kyle's the one who feels like I can scheme anyone open. I'm the star of the offense. Sure, Kittle's great, but do we need to pay anyone $17 million a year? No, I'm the one who makes these guys. I really believe that if there's, I'm not saying there is, but if there's someone in the organization that's like, man, let's just get someone else for $10 million. It's Kyle, not Lynch. Lynch isn't. I don't think he has those kind of opinions.
So
maybe he does.
This is my whole thing. So when Adam Schefter reported that Mostert got his new deal, and it's basically not a new deal, guys. He still has $0 guaranteed. He went from getting a $150,000 roster bonus to a $350,000 roster bonus, but he still has $0 guaranteed. He just got more incentives. But the thing about that deal was Schefter said the deal was actually done the week before they announced it. It was done the week before they announced it, right? So this is what we know about the Niners. They don't let out. They just don't, right? It just doesn't happen unless they want people to know. They don't let anything out, right? And this is what I'll say, right? I think that they're working on re-signing somebody. If anybody, I think it will be Jimmy Garoppolo, so they could backload the contract and create some more money for next year. That's what I think the holdup is.
Well, hold on real quick with Mostert. When Rappaport came out and said things are going good with Mostert, they've talked and they've reached an understanding.
Right.
Mostert and Tesler, there was no NFL Network report coming saying like, actually, the Niners are way off. Basically, Tesler was quiet. Raheem Mostert was quiet, and then it happened. On this case with Kittle, Lynch tries to do the same thing, express optimism, and then instantly Kittle's camp is like, no, not so fast. Nothing's changed. What are you talking about? So I think the situations are a little bit different. And with Mostert, he was easily pleased. He just needed like a thank you, basically, in money form, which is some more incentives, like just acknowledgement. Kittle was asking for a whole lot more than that. So that's a trickier negotiation.
Yeah. And this is my whole thing. I read the CBA for this year. Kittle has no leverage because when it comes to that opt-out shit, right? People just talking out of their ass, right? This is how the CBA works for this year. If you opt out, you get $150,000. You only get $350,000 if you have a compromised immune system or you have a child with a compromised immune system. But there's a catch. What do you say? But wait, there's more.
There's more.
And the more is, it says you have to fulfill the obligations of your contract the following year.
It's true.
So he can opt out if he want to. He's going to be right back with the Niners with the same contract that he's going to have to honor for a whole nother year. So what, you going to sit out 2 years, Kittle? I don't think so.
No, but I think about it's you got to think about it differently, man. It's not just that he would be opting out to stick it to the 49ers financially. It's that he might become legitimately worried about COVID-19. This is something you got to worry about, man. Do you want to become a carrier for this? I wouldn't necessarily just roll my eyes on this, man. Buster Posey opted out. Is he a bum? Is he soft? A lot of players will, and the deadline's not till the 7th. Hey, so what you're going to see is if there are outbreaks, outbreaks around the league, I think you're going to start seeing some players being like, I think it's kind of a wait and see thing right now. So what Kittle could do is he could say, look, there are a lot of risks in 2020. It's not just my knees, my head, my physical, it's also the COVID-19 thing. And it's just not worth the risk for me to play for $2.1 million in this particular year, even though my contract tolls and I would still have to play under the same deal next year. I just don't want to take this much risk for this little money. Hopefully next year, COVID-19 won't be an issue. That could happen. That could happen.
This is the thing, though. Any vaccine takes 18 months to 2 years to develop. It's going to be the same thing next year.
We don't know what next year is going to happen, man. We don't know what's going to be happening 2 months from now. It's a very, very weird time. Bro, we don't know.
This is what I do know. Vaccines take 18 months to 2 years to develop. And there's a testing process that they have to go through.
They don't necessarily need a vaccine to get football back. What you could have is tests that give you results in an hour or two. If you can test every player when they get to, if they get them in the United States and start using them in the NFL, then the season should be fine. If you can test everyone and get accurate results within 2 hours, then you know who's available to play in that game.
What I'm saying,
if they're accurate and they're quick.
They have rapid testing now.
Bro, they have rocket testing now. That's what the UFC has been using. That's what everybody uses right now.
Then they should be fine. Then they should be okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I understand, like, to be worried about some safety, but at the same time, it's just like, bro, they are testing everybody every single day. Like, what?
Let me put it this way. So no one reported that Kittle's going to opt out. Silver put it as his opinion, which is a very no. Mike Silver is talking directly to Kittle's agent. So you can say what you want about Silver. Him and Rappaport are the most informed on this particular topic because they're talking to Kittle's agent. Silver said it. So if he says that he thinks that Kittle might consider opting out, Silver didn't think of that on his own. Here's how it works. You talk to an agent and he says, look, this is off the record. You can't write this. You can't quote me, but you can say it as your opinion. And that's what reporters do. So I'm guessing the agent said, look, man, hey, this isn't over. If the Niners don't come through, he could opt out. I'm not saying he will, but he could. And you can write it as your opinion, Mike. And that's how things work in the industry. So I don't think Mike just thought of it. I think it's something that the Kittles camp wants to float. And ultimately, they probably won't do it. But I think they want the Niners to think that they might. That's the leverage. Because you can say that it screws him, but it also screws the team over because they're not winning the Super Bowl without him. They're not.
If Kittle opts out, I feel like they'll do something like trade him for Evan Ingram and 2 picks and be done with him.
Can you trade an opted out player?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You could trade him.
If he opts out, they're signing Clowney the next day, and Jordan Reed.
Right.
Because to me, like, look, they have $12 million in cap space that they're holding for God knows what.
Right.
The Chiefs don't have any cap space this year.
Right.
So it seems to me that the Niners are holding it for Kittle in case Kittle wants to lower his asking price and accept $12 million. And otherwise, if he opts out, boom, let's sign Clowney because you're not holding on to that money for anything else.
And there might be some guys, bro, that are on the roster who are making, a couple million that just won't make the team. And then it's like, okay, those guys are not making the team. We have some undrafted guys. They're going to make the team. Hey, Kittle, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So we might not. That might be the deal. And in that interview, John Lynch said specifically when talking about the Adams trade, he said it was never feasible. He said our main objective was we have to save money for George Kittle. He literally said that, right? Like, I don't know where this came from. Like, of course, if it's Jamal Adams, of course you're going to be like, yeah, you're interested. You look into it. But it was never feasible because we're saving money for George Kittle. And I'm happy that he said that, bro, because it just reassured me that. Oh, go ahead.
Let me explain because this was my report and now it looks stupid. So let me explain what was going on. You got to remember that on July 23rd, the NFL and the NFLPA decided what to do with the lowered revenue. There's going to be massive revenue losses. And for a while, it was thinking that the league wanted to have it all taken care of in 2021. They wanted the cap to go down massively in 2021 and then go back up and be done with it. But the players didn't want that because that means a lot of vets would get cut next year.
Right.
So under the league's proposal, the Niners could afford Jamal Adams because in 2020, he's cheaper than Tart. In 2021, he's only $9 million. And then in 2022, when the cap goes back up, you can give him whatever you want. You can give everyone all the money you want. But that's not what ended up happening. They collectively bargained to have it be spread out over 5 years. So the cap's going to take a hit for half a decade. And at that point, they knew they couldn't afford him and Kittle and Trent Williams. At that point, it became not a reality. And it's interesting that the Seahawks went all in anyway. They're very aggressive with that. Right. They're going to probably have to reload big time in a year. But I do think it was a reality. I know it was a reality. I reported that it was a reality. And eventually, once they got more information on what the cap's going to be in the future, they figured out that it wasn't. But for a while, they were seriously considering it. And I'm not basing it off a report that I heard from a guy who heard a thing from a guy, as we heard some of these things go down with Kittle recently. And there was a lot of flimsy stuff we heard from Kittle that Kittle that didn't come through. I heard it from a guy in the league. Guy in Seattle heard it from a guy in the league. Guy at ESPN heard it from a guy in the league. I understand what Lynch is saying, that it ultimately became not a reality. But for a while there, they were doing their due diligence and they were very interested. Because why wouldn't you be? He's a stud.
Right.
You're so disappointed with my answer right now. Look at you sitting back. You're like, man, Grant, forget Grant. I had to listen to that BS for 2.5 minutes. I tuned out like 90 seconds ago. Say what you want, buddy. I don't believe that's fine. Fair enough. I appreciate it.
Gosh.
Why are we looking at Jimmy right now?
You see the shirt? It's the shirt within the shirt.
Yeah.
They have a little like funny little back and forth going on, don't they?
Yeah. I'm happy to see that his quarterback is putting on for him. You know what I'm saying? Bronze, how you feel, bro? Do you think the deal gets done? You think it gets done?
Yes, the deal's gonna get done. Yes.
Why?
I don't know when, but it's gonna get done.
Why?
Because they take care of their players, man. The 49ers.
Okay, so let me ask you a follow-up question. Do you think they're gonna up their offer? Taking care of their players, they're gonna come to their senses and up their offer, or is Kittle gonna come to his senses and take what's been offered to him? Because I think that's the issue.
The latter. I think Kittle's going to come to.
I don't think the Niners are going to up their offer anytime soon. Do you, Trey?
Right.
If I had to guess, I would feel that it's 13 or 14, leaning more towards 13, maybe 13.5, and there is a load of incentives, right? And that's probably where Kittle is having a problem with, is having those incentives. But it's just like, hey, man, there's probably the best quarterback in the league just has a contract right now. He just signed with $337 million worth of incentives. Like, George, I love you, but who do you think you are? Yes, you're the best.
best player in the league. Let me ask you directly,
He's the best in the game, but it's just like, bro, if Patrick Mahomes can sign a contract where 65% of his contract is incentives, like George, what is the problem, bro? Like, you're still gonna get your money. You're gonna get your money.
So do you think George Kittle is gonna lower his demands and take what's been offered, or do you think the Niners are gonna up it, or do you think neither? Because I think neither.
I think that both sides are going to come to a compromising position, and I think that we're going to be surprised by somebody on the team. I don't know who it is, but somebody on the team is not going to make the team.
Okay.
Somebody on the team is not going to make the team. It's going to save, probably $3 or $4, maybe $5 million, and George is going to get his contract. There's going to be somebody that this is how I predict it, right? And guys, I don't have any sources or nothing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is just me, thinking out this problem that we have, right? It's the only problem I feel like our franchise has right now. I feel like we are going to be surprised by somebody who gets cut, who had a big role in this team, by an undrafted guy or by a free agent that John Lynch or Robert Saleh feels.
Could be Kendrick Bourne.
Huh?
Could be Kendrick Bourne. You guys are making $3 million. Hey, man, you're saying someone unexpected. Who's it going to be then?
Someone
Mike McGlinchey
for Kendrick.
Okay.
Someone unexpected besides for Kendrick Bourne.
All right. It's not going to be Jimmy Ward.
No,
not Jimmy Ward. I don't know.
It's not gonna be Jimmy. Hey, okay, so let's go back to the top 100. I feel like there was 4 players who were snubbed on our team that should have been on the top 100.
I know you're going to say Jimmy Ward.
It's Jimmy Ward.
Mitch Wishnowsky.
Nope.
You would have made made 101.
So Jimmy Ward, Eric Armstead, K'Wan Williams. And there's one on offense, right? I feel like the top 100 should feature every player. A kicker, there was no kicker, there was no punter, there was no special teams ace, and there was not one fullback. And we have the best fullback in the game. And he deserves.
Juszczyk should be top 100. I don't care.
He should be, bro.
He should be.
Good. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
I was highly surprised because when it came down, I was like, okay, I know Bosa and Kittle's going to be on it. It's like, I feel like we have so much more guys who deserve to be on this list. You know what I mean?
And how I feel about Mostert. I mean, if you're putting guys in the top 20 for one season, if Bosa's 17 for one season, then Mostert's top 100. I mean, what did he not? How did he not do enough?
Fair.
Average 6 yards a carry.
Yeah,
fair. Yeah,
most definitely. And
man, we got a lot of players.
Yeah, but we have a lot of.
That's the thing about the Niners that to me makes them special. It's not necessarily the top end players, but it's how many dudes they have that you could argue are top 100. You could argue they have 10. And there's not a lot of there's not a lot of teams. Most teams are top end.
Williams didn't make it because he didn't play last year.
Exactly. That's another guy. He's a top 100 caliber player.
No
doubt. You could argue I think Shanahan would argue that he's the best player on the team.
Most definitely.
That he's up there with Kittle when healthy. So
most definitely.
Man,
I can't wait to watch Nick Bosa and Trent Williams go head to head in camp. I hope they're allowed to do that this year in camp because last year you could tell that Staley was getting a little old because he really got whipped. He got whipped by Nick.
I'm gonna ask. I just want one favor, right? One day while you're at, I'll go back to work pretty soon.
I can tape the one-on-ones and put them on YouTube. I will. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah.
Don't worry. I got that.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
Man.
Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff that has happened over the last couple of days. How do you feel about John Lynch getting this deal? Because I know there was some talk out there that it might be problems with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, and trying to keep Adam Peters, and which I still think that we'll figure out how to keep Adam Peters. How do you feel about John Lynch getting this new contract?
I think he got it for himself. I'm impressed because I've been covering this team a long time, and I think I know Jed York a little bit better than John Lynch does. And the way I feel about Jed York, sorry, Jed, is you can't really trust him. He'll say something, and you don't know if he's a man of his word. So he said he was going to take care of both Kyle and John. He took care of Kyle first, and for whatever reason, John bounced for 2 months. He said he wanted to spend time with his family. He needed time away from his phone. I don't know any general manager that takes any time away from his phone. So what I read into that was, all right, Jed, you're waffling a little bit. All of a sudden, you don't know. Maybe you're having second thoughts, or you think that maybe I'm not as important as Kyle, even though you said that I was. So I'm just going to go away for 2 months because it's quarantine time anyway. and we'll just see how you guys do as an organization without me. And Mostert requested a trade. Things started kind of like fraying at the seams, and then he kind of comes back in as a hero right at the end, be like, oh, let me fix everything. Let me make Mostert happy. Let me do this and that. Let me get back to showing you what I do for this organization, even though it's not scouting really or negotiating contracts. It is useful. You wanted me here. So don't mess around. And the one thing I noticed is even after he got himself that deal, good for him, he didn't get a 6-year deal like Shanahan. He got a 5-year deal. So I just wonder like what the negotiation was there. And anyway, he's here for 5 more years. Good for him. I really like him.
Right. Most definitely. And
was that a coincidence? Once Mostert got his deal and then
I don't think so.
Was that
nothing was happening?
I think they've
nothing
been
was happening.
I think they've been working on it, and that's the thing. Like, there's so much.
I think they've been working on it all offseason. Yes.
Yeah.
But I think they've been working on it with Parag, and it's hard to get places with Parag. Parag's a stickler.
Right.
He's a stickler.
I feel like there's so much things that's happening right now behind the scenes. Like, it will blow your mind how much work.
That's what fans don't get. Even like people who are plugged in like me, I might know 5% of what's happening. There's a whole. It's like the tip of the iceberg, man.
Right. Yeah. Most definitely. I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, it almost gives you, for me, it like makes my anxiety go up. Like, there was all of these reports saying that George Kittle's deal is already worked out. They're just waiting to announce it. And then to rebuttal those, like, they put out the info like, nah, we're not even close. I think I think that it's John. I think that it's the organization playing games with us. Like, they just don't want their business to be out there.
I think that report that the deal was done between the Niners and Kittle was bogus. And I'm not calling anyone out because I like everyone that was reporting that.
It came from a good source, though.
It felt like a game of telephone that just got messed up because everyone was way wrong. They were not done. I mean, they just weren't. Unless I'm tripping, unless I'm missing something. They were never done. Yeah. So I don't know how that got started. And whoever was running with that needs to really seriously reconsider that source, because that dude made a lot of people look bad. Anyway, what was I going to say? Dang, I forgot. I guess that's the more important thing. Oh, well. Yeah. What were you talking about before then?
What were we talking about? John Lynch. I think we were talking about John.
Yeah, it was the John Lynch deal, and we
It'll
ended that one.
It'll come back.
What about Javon? I mean, Clowney.
Clowney? Yeah. Well, to me, that's we talked about it earlier. Like, if you know you're not going to give $12 million to Kittle this year, and you just got $12 million cap space laying around, and he's willing to sign like a 1-year, $10 million deal with incentives, sign him up. If he wants more, like Jadeveon Clowney, he has a bunch of baggage, and I wouldn't give him too much money. But if he wants to take $10 million with incentives for 1 year, why not?
Hey, and this is the thing, though. He already turned down $17 million a year for multiple years with the Cleveland Browns. What makes anybody think that he's going to take $7 million?
Well, I'd much rather play for the Niners than the Cleveland Browns. I would.
Yeah, but $7 million less?
I wouldn't commit myself long-term to the Browns. I wouldn't take a multi-year deal with the Browns. Although it seems a little tough because he has no other options. But I just feel like from the Niners' perspective, like if he's still hanging out there and his market value is dropping by the day, then at least we got to like kind of monitor this and see if he eventually does drop in our price range. Because at that point, I'd be interested, because I still don't believe the Niners are the best team in the league. They might think they are, but I think they're in a group of teams, and one more move, it could have been Adams, it could be Clowney. One more move could put them over the top. They have $12 million in cap space. If it's not earmarked for Kittle, use it.
I'll tell you somebody who I'd rather have that comes with less baggage, that's way better, that I feel is a top 10 edge rusher in the league right now, and he's yet to be signed.
Marcus Golden?
Everson Griffin.
Okay. All right.
Free agent. He wasn't feeling what the direction that the way of the Vikings franchise was going, and he still hasn't signed. You know what I mean? And they're having a contract dispute with Dalvin Cook right now, so he knows that the money's not going to be there for him. I would much rather have an Everson Griffin, somebody where he comes from a team who plays almost the same type of scheme that we play. They play a lot of wide nine over there with the.
That's a great call. Everson Griffin's a little bit older, but he's still an excellent player. And I think another reason that there's urgency to do something like this is I sincerely believe the Seahawks will as well. They know they have the worst pass rush in the league, and they've been making a lot of late moves in free agency. They always kind of do that. They don't do the first wave. They know they need another pass rusher. There's a bunch of guys out there. There's Griffin, Clowney, Golden, Matthews. So they're going to get one of them. I think the Niners should get one of them too.
Clay Matthews, yeah.
He's still out there.
He's a stand-up edge. He doesn't really put his hand in the dirt, though.
True, but I think a lot of these guys are going to come onto teams and be like rotational pass rushers anyway, except for Clowney.
Right, yeah. Because, man, Clay Matthews will still go get you 7-8 sacks. Easy.
Yeah. And for the Niners' perspective, like, yeah, you have D Ford, but you can't count on him. He's got a bad knee. Right. It's really nice to have someone who can fill in when Ford's not playing. Be great.
Yeah. I mean, do you feel that if we got somebody like a Clay Matthews who we could probably get for $2 or $3 million, easy work, right?
Easy.
Like, do you think that he would still be would he still be as valuable having to put his hand in the dirt, or will they stand him up and just rush him?
I'll stand him up. They'll bring him in on third downs and let him and say, just, rush the quarterback from whatever stance you feel comfortable with. Just sack the quarterback. Right. But, the fact that the Niners have held on to this $12 million in cap space and haven't used it to sign Jordan Reed or any of these cheap guys who are out there makes me, I guess, feel like they're hoping they're going to get something done with Kittle, and they don't want to close the door on that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only logical thing that there could be. It's because Kittle and John Lynch said it himself. And that was one of the things I was just happy to hear, because I went back over and I listened to that interview again. And then I watched it when they released it on video just to see if there's anything else that I could pick out. And that's the main thing that I picked out, is that he said that when he was talking about the Adams, like not even being an option because of Georgia.
That's true. He said, we got to save this money for Kittle. And then he said, we're hoping we're going to get Kittle. And then Kittle's agent called up NFL Network and was like, excuse me, could I get Mike Silver on the phone right now, please?
Most definitely. Trey, man, you were saying that Matthews ain't coming cheap. He played for $5 million last year. He had $3 million guaranteed, and then he had a $2 million bonus, and the Rams still haven't paid him his $2 million bonus. So he actually had to fill out. He actually, they hadn't paid him or Todd Gurley his bonus, so he had to make a complaint to the league office, and then he finally got his money. So $5 million is not a lot of money, and he's going to get less than that this year because he's a year older. You know what I mean? So that's not a lot of money.
That's bad on the Rams.
Point that Mike Silver made that I think is really good. Look at how the Chiefs took care of Mahomes and Chris Jones. Look at how the Niners took care of Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, Raheem Mostert to an extent, and Trent Williams. They gave him money up front. And Armstead. They've taken care of a lot of players. And from Kittle's perspective, it's like, dude, I'm the best player on the team. Right. I've given you 3 great years for I'm the biggest bargain in the league. You don't want to make this right with me. You want to make it right with everyone but me. What message are you sending me in the locker room? It's just strange. It feels like he should always be the number one priority. Well, I get taking care of Mostert and Trent Williams, but Kittle should be number one because he's your best player.
But the thing is, can you really say that they took care of Raheem when he has no guaranteed money still? And
they made him happy. They made him happy.
But I'm just saying, it's like
he's easier to make happy than Kittle. That's fair,
right?
How do you make Kittle happy? You give him everything.
Right,
yeah, okay,
right. And George is easily a $60-70 million contract. Like, it's a lot more complicated, George. Like, I know, he has to really I hope he just really understands that, as looking at what's happening right now and looking at how much money his contract is going to possess. Hell, he might get an $80-90 million contract. Right? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a huge contract. And so I feel like he has to have some understanding of, I understand what the situation is right now. I know I want to get paid. And at the same time, I know that it's going to be hard for them to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why I feel like he said, no, I'm not going to hold out. I'm coming to camp, because he knows this is not going to be an easy deal for them to bang out. Especially
if he holds out, then he gets less money next year. It'd make him look like a diva. But if he opts out, I don't think you can really knock people for opting out.
Yeah, that's a year of that's a year of his prime that's gone.
Right. If he opts out for COVID-19, I don't think fans are going to be like, what a selfish, greedy jerk. It'd be like, all right, man, well, that's a personal decision. I don't know what I would do in his shoes.
Grant, you of all people.
His value will go down, though, if he opts out.
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't.
It does.
He'd miss a year.
You're removed from football. Yes, it does.
Hey, Williams, Mr. You guys have both said that it's a good thing because he's fresh now. So I don't know, man. I mean, he's still George Kittle. He's still gonna want.
But Trent Williams took a lot more punishment than George Kittle. A lot more. Like his left tackles, bro. Like
he's older. Yeah, he's 5 years older.
Right. Yeah, they're in the trenches every play.
We covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we did.
Covered a lot of ground today.
I was about to say something, but I caught myself. Like, see, I've been doing a really good job, bro, of like catching myself.
Seamless.
Seamless. We want
good job,
like we don't. We love getting free content.
Close.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Bro,
oh yeah, everyone follow, subscribe. Make sure if you subscribe to me and not Dre and Braun, subscribe to them because they're like 350 subscribers away from doing big things. Get them there.
Most definitely. Yeah, bro. And also, bro, can you please do us a favor?
Yes.
Like when we download the episode and send it to you and you chop it up, could you put our link in the description?
Absolutely. I got you. In every single one, I got you.
I appreciate you so much.
Of course.
Oh, yes. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. You of all people, bro, you know how our fans are. You know how our fans are. If George Kittle opts out, there's gonna be a lot of
They're gonna be mad because they know that he would be basically kamikazing
derailing the season.
He'd be derailing the season. Yeah.
Oh my God, it would be hell to pay. Oh, okay. All right.
That's the point I wanted to make. If Kittle and agent were as optimistic as the 49ers, I don't think they'd be floating the possibility of opting out. Now, we don't know that they did, but I'm thinking they did. Otherwise, Silver wouldn't have said it. And I don't think they're going to opt out. It seems like a threat when you have no leverage. If you have no leverage, right, you start making idle threats. Maybe I'll hold out.
Yes.
No, right. But maybe I will.
Desperation move.
Because from the Niners' perspective, it's not in Kittle's interest to hold out, but he really does screw us over if he does. So do we take it seriously? Do we just totally think he's bluffing because maybe he's not? And then we're screwed. And what do we do? So I think it's a last-ditch move. And it's just like when Mostert requested a trade, it's not a very strong move. It's actually showing how weak you are. But that to me says how much they don't think it's going to happen. That's what I think. But we'll see. I'm always pessimistic anyway. So
yeah, we'll see it, bro. Demontre Moore. Trey just said Demontre Moore played well. Bring him back. How you feel about that?
Bronze, what do you think?
Yes, I want him back.
He was cool.
Demontre Moore
was good last year. And I heard that from Howard Balzer, who has been a reporter forever. He used to be with ESPN, and now he's covering the Cardinals for Sports Illustrated. He reported a couple of days ago that the Niners reached out to Demontre Moore to gauge, interest and how much he would cost. It's not going to be much, but if they reached out to Demontre Moore and reportedly reached out to Jadeveon Clowney, it seems like they may be interested in signing one more edge rusher. It may not be Clowney or Moore, but it seems like they may have one more move left up their sleeves.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, Horatio Flores, I don't appreciate you, saying that, bro.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Horatio just subbed to you.
Yeah,
I just messaged him. I said I get so caught up in the conversation, I forget I am in the show.
That's why I threw it to Bronze first off. I was like, Bronze, what do you think?
Yeah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm doing things in the background too.
No divide and conquer. I tell you this. Stuff that Bronze does that I don't even know how to do. So, you know what I'm saying?
Bronze hits me up like once a week on Twitter being like, yo, you got to do this with your YouTube videos. You got to do that. I'm like, man, thank you. Thank you. I did not know that. Thank you.
Little consulting too.
I'm on StreamYard because of you guys. Seriously.
Oh, yeah, because
he's recommended like 3 or 4 different subscriptions. I think you got to get this, you got to get that. I'm like, hey, whatever you say, man, I got it.
Right. Yeah,
man,
bro.
Yeah, I saw when you had the All-Star with the 6 guys the other day. Yeah, that was pretty.
That
good.
was like around the horn. I was like Tony Reality.
Yes, yeah.
Hopefully, he doesn't sue me for killing this concept.
Yeah, bro. We covered a lot of stuff today. We went over a lot of different topics. I feel like every time we have Grant on, bro, it's like the best content we've done because we work together all the time. We in constant contact, bro, and it gives different perspectives, and that's awesome. And bro, we appreciate you coming on. And
I like our show because we normally disagree, but we do it in a very good natured spirit. And we have, I think, substantive debates where we both learn and people that watch learn. So I think it's not like a bunch of people agreeing with each other, which is good, but it's also not super hostile either, which is unique. I love this show.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming on, bro. We have an announcement that Bronze is going to talk about right now that's extremely important because this is cost effective. And we've invested a lot. So I'm gonna turn it over to Bronze and he's going to talk about this with you guys.
Yes, sir. So we opened up a Patreon account. If you can, if this is a way to support us, basically we got 3 tiers, $5 a month. Be part of exclusive giveaways. The $10 tier is included with the giveaways plus a shout out at the show, beginning or in the end or whatever. The 25 to go tier is basically the first 2 tiers, and then you can be part of on the show. So that will definitely help us out tremendously. Upgrade, also pay the services that we're doing. So I mean it's coming out of our pockets, but it's all good. But yeah, this is another way. If you guys want to support us, this is the way to do it, man.
Yeah, sign up for their Patreon, definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. And like I said, man, we got a giveaway that we badly want to do, but we're not going to do it until we're not going to do it till we get to 1,000 subscribers, bro. So
good luck, guys. This was a lot of fun. Let's do it again next Saturday if you're down.
Yeah, most
definitely.
There's
things to talk about. I think there will
every Saturday. Every Saturday,
every Saturday at noon.
Yeah, every Saturday.
All right, man.
All right,
all right.
We'll be in contact with you. We're gonna download the episode as soon as we get off. All right. Oh
yeah, man. So good show.
Hey, bro. So we got to talk about this. Dana Stubblefield. I know you've seen what happened, right?
Oh shoot. Yeah.
Come on.
Yes. Yeah. Disappointed. I mean,
highly.
He's been finally like it's been going on for a while, right?
Wow.
But now it's finally official that
times, and now it happens again. It's kind of like, man, let's say if there's an indictment for you and they say that you stole 5 cars, like you probably stole at least one of them, right? You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Trey. We appreciate you, bro. Like you probably stole one of them, right? And it's like that's one of the worst things to be accused of is like, taking advantage of any human being, you know what I'm saying? But especially of a woman, especially being as big and as strong as you are. And the way that Stubblefield did it, bro, he put out an ad stating that he wanted a house cleaner. And basically there was different people there was different ladies
Oh, shoot.
Liked. Then he basically forced himself on her, bro. That's crazy.
Oh man. I didn't know that.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes,
I mean, if you really wanted to do, there's places,
bro. Like I don't.
There's thoughts out there.
Yeah, like you're Dana, like bro, like
maybe that's his fetish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's like it has.
Yeah, it's a disappointing thing, man.
It is, bro. I really think that stuff like that is like a sickness, like mental illness thing, bro. To where like people literally can't help themselves. That's the only way I could think about it, bro. Because it wasn't like no substance abuse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know, bro.
Well, Grant, and had the show with his dad. They were talking about that. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch.
Grant's dad was saying, he worked with him, after retired, did the show, and he would never thought of that him being like that.
Right.
He thought he's like one of the nicest guys ever. Yeah, people like that. Like they even said, like Bruce Miller, he went crazy, but you would never think he was that type of person.
Right. Yeah. And then
you'll never know the type of person till
till
shit like this happens.
But then there was a report that came out from him and his lawyer stating because of the COVID, they didn't have a fair trial process because it spanned it out for an extra 6 to 7 months. So
they're buying time.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't, it's like I don't want to believe it, but at the same time, man, now you yourself innocent, bro. You guilty,
right?
But you yourself innocent, bro. Like, that's just a horrible thing, man. One of the great,
it's a disappointing thing, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. One of the great
him and Brian Young, man, that was the duo right there.
Yeah, and it's now it will be forever. It will be hard to separate the art from the person, right? Because we want to do that. Like we want to separate how good somebody was at something, but it's hard to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just like R. Kelly, like it's hard. Like
do it. Damn it, bro! You gotta do that, dude.
Yeah, bro. It's just like don't tell me if you hear an R. Kelly song, you're gonna start dancing. You know what I'm saying? But then you're gonna be like, you gonna look at the people looking at you.
Oh man, I don't know. Did you watch the versus battle with Lil Jon and T-Pain? And T-Pain was kind of losing. He was running out of songs. Because man, a bunch of guys might get mad at me if I play this. But he played the I'm a Flirt remix. Lil Jon's like, oh come on, man. Yeah. So.
Bro. Yeah, bro.
That's that's pretty bad, man.
I really hope that
imagine one of our favorite players like KB doing bad, like just that's a heartbreaker. You know what I'm saying?
That's a heartbreaker.
That's a heartbreaker.
I just hope that he truly gets some rehabilitation, and he really gets the help that he needs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing that, bro, you really need some help. You know what I'm saying? Like you need some help. You need some rehabilitation. You need classes. You need to be able to express yourself as to why you do those things. You need the correct professionals around you. You need a self-help group. Like you need a lot of rehabilitation. And that's the only thing that I could hope for is that, Mr. Stubbsfield, man, I hope that you get the help that you need, man, because you had a lot of people who are diehard, faithful 49er fans that really admired you as the man that you were and as the player that you were, and you just totally
looked up to you, and
bro, you just totally threw that to the wayside. So
messed it up. Yeah,
I'm happy that what we giving away is Brian Young autograph and not the Stubblefield autograph. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, dude.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, man. We have to put that in the trash or return it.
Facto, bro. Real talk, man. Yeah, bro. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. Like me and
so,
Bron.
With the Patreon. Yeah. So like, if you do the red tier, that's the first tier, the $5. We still have to have a certain amount of members before we can start doing the giveaways. Because I mean, if we only had like 3 members, it wouldn't be fair to do giveaways with 3. Yeah. So I guess me and Dre is gonna probably think of a number. What's a good number to start doing that? But definitely support. We got some lights, and we just need to get. It's gonna go towards with a better experience of the show, and that'll definitely help out a lot with cameras or microphones. We've been doing good, but it's just to upgrade and better the experience and stuff. So
most definitely.
But what JD said right here,
at least
Stubblefield doesn't got to worry about getting beat up.
Bro. They're not running up on him, bro.
Straight up.
Definitely not running up on him. I remember when Dana Stubblefield played in the first movie he ever played in. It was remember Reindeer Games with Ben Affleck where they robbed that casino, bro. Dana Stubblefield was the guy who ran up on the dude and stabbed him.
He was in there?
Yeah, bro. And now he really gonna be in there like poking some dudes because
oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, bro. I remember that specifically. It's crazy, bro. Like this world is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like extremely crazy.
Yeah.
I wanna send a thank you.
Dre, real quick on what do you
go ahead, bro.
Jay's breaking up here. I was gonna say, what do you Who are you looking forward to for camp? Who do you think is going to stand out?
Quan Alexander.
No, looks like we got technical difficulties.
You can't hear me?
Okay, yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Quan Alexander.
Man, straight up.
When they did,
I can hear you. It's a little delay though.
Oh, okay. Well, when they did the top 100, Quan Alexander, he tweeted and he said, "Okay," basically like saying, "Okay, I see what's going on. I was injured last year. Wait and watch and see what's gonna happen this year, bro. I think Quan Alexander is gonna have a big year.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have a big year. That's the guy that I'm excited to see is Quan Alexander. And
you think he was motivated last year? He's gonna be way he's gonna be
most definitely. And then on offense, the person that I want to see, of course, is Derek McKinney and Jalen Hurd. Jet and Jalen Hurd. Those are the two guys. Like I want to see on offense. Like just come out and have a productive year.
Yeah, man.
And then Trent Williams. Williams. Yeah, Trent Williams. I think he's gonna have a good year too.
Oh hell yeah, yes.
Yeah,
I'm excited, man. Yeah. You were gonna say something real quick. You wanted to say a thanks or something?
Oh yeah. So I can't remember this fan's name, but they called me out on my cussing, right? And you know how I get in the comments, bro. Like I flip out, right? And I'm happy that person said something about that because ever since then I've been a lot more mindful of the language that I put out into the universe when we're on our platform, bro. And I really appreciate whoever that was that called me out for my cussing. I really appreciate that because if you look today, I said one cuss word and it was the F word. I said it once. I let it slip out. And you know what I'm saying? I going back and watching some of the shows, like I totally get what people were saying, bro, because it was bad. It was bad. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Slick. Yeah, Slick, I had to do that, bro.
Right.
I had to do that last night. I had to go in on Justin last night. He said something. He said my name. He said Grant's name. So I had to go in on him, bro. I'm loyal to my soil, bro. I'm loyal to the people that I'm loyal to. You know what I'm saying? I'm loyal to my people, bro. Like if you say anything about my boy Bronze or
hey, you know, Grant gets a later.
yeah,
bro.
Grant
gets a lot of haters, but hey, you know, you ain't blowing up if you don't got no haters and stuff. So you know, it comes with that territory.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So with that,
but man, hey,
yeah,
man. With that being said, man, anything else before we bounce out?
Nah, bro. We didn't cover a lot of stuff, bro. We did almost
guys.
I'm proud of us what we did today, bro. We did almost an hour and a half, bro. We're at 122 right now. Hour 22.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we did a lot. So
oh shoot, dang. Man. So okay, man.
Yep.
We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Most definitely, man. Shout out to the Niner fan. Peace out.